the adult Isekai craze has begun. The success of these anime and manga has been enormous, especially as older audiences are increasingly drawn to these stories. Younger audiences, who are still discovering this universe, may enjoy them, but it's the adults, particularly those over 20, who truly identify with them. Stories featuring older protagonists, often in their 30s, have been gaining prominence. A notable example is Sasaki to Paichan, which stands out among these works. In recent years, we've seen a significant rise in isekai focused on adults. Unlike traditional isekai aimed at teenagers, these anime and manga feature protagonists who are exhausted workers, often undervalued in their previous lives. A good example of this is the story of a protagonist who, after being transported to a fantasy world, finds himself valued for his administrative skills rather than combat abilities. Instead of becoming a powerful warrior, he becomes one of the leaders of the demon world, using his talent for diplomacy and management to improve the situation around him. Another interesting example is a work where the female protagonist dies from overworking and, without much explanation, is transported to a fantasy world. This scenario resonates with many adults who feel exhausted by their work routines, longing for an escape to a world where their skills are truly appreciated. Additionally, there are stories like that of an ordinary man, dissatisfied with his monotonous life, who receives the opportunity to marry a queen in a fantasy world. He accepts the proposal, not out of love, but because his life on Earth offered him no excitement. This type of narrative appeals to those who feel trapped in their routines and dream of something more meaningful. Isekai are not the only ones exploring this theme. Other adventures follow a similar path, with protagonists who, despite not having superpowers, use their earthly skills to stand out. The work, Saitou in Another World, is a great example, where the protagonist, a jack of all trades undervalued in his previous life, finds new purpose in a fantasy world. The reason for this rise in adult isekai is simple. The audience that grew up with these anime and manga is aging and wants to continue consuming stories they can relate to. Publishers, recognizing this demographic shift and the declining birth rate, are increasingly focused on creating content for this older audience. The trend is that soon, we will even see characters in their 50s starring in these fantasy worlds. It's not just about having an adult protagonist, but about exploring issues and challenges that resonate with a more mature audience. The characters face real problems, such as being undervalued at work and searching for meaning in their lives, which are more easily identifiable to those who have already experienced or are currently experiencing these challenges. In short, the adult isekai craze is growing, and this reflects the need for stories that speak directly to an audience that still loves the genre but is looking for something that aligns more with their current realities and aspirations. If you haven't noticed this trend yet, it's time to pay attention, as we will increasingly see older protagonists living out fantastic adventures that resonate with adults. What do you think of this new trend? Have you noticed the increase in characters in their 30s or older? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to help us reach 1,000 subscribers. See you next time.